Becoming Her with Christiana, a safe space for young women becoming who they are meant to be. Here, we talk about healing, identity, faith, self-worth, relationships, purpose, honesty, and gently. If you've ever felt lost, in between, or unsure of who you're becoming, this space is for you. You are not late. You are not broken. You are becoming. Welcome to the journey.
Hi, welcome back to Becoming Her with Christiana. Thank you for being here today. Lovelies, I want to talk about something that most of us have experienced, but don't always know how to deal with it. Disappointment. The kind that comes when things don't go the way you hoped. When a door closes, when a prayer seems unanswered, when life takes a different direction from the one you imagined. And today's episode is titled Healing from Disappointment. And if you're here and you've been carrying disappointment in your heart, this episode is for you. A while ago, I was really looking forward to something. I had prayed about it, thought about it, imagined how happy I would be if it worked out. In my mind, everything was already going into place, but then it didn't happen. And honestly, I struggled. Not because it was the worst thing in the world, but because I had already attached my expectations to it. And I think that's what makes disappointment very painful. It's not always about what happened. Sometimes it's about the future we imagined that never came. Have you ever experienced that? I'm sure you have. Maybe it was a relationship, right? Or a job opportunity, an admission, a business idea, or something you prayed for and truly believed would happen. And when it didn't, you were left wondering, God, why me? One thing I've learned is that disappointment can make us question many things. It can make us question ourselves, question our decisions, and sometimes even question God. But having those questions doesn't make you a bad Christian, trust me. But it makes you human. Even people in the Bible experienced disappointment. Now let's go into that. Think about Martha and Mary. They sent word to Jesus that their brother Lazarus was sick. They believed Jesus would come immediately, right? But he didn't. By the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had died, long gone. Imagine how disappointed they must have felt. Imagine waiting, praying, hoping, and then seeing the exact opposite of what you expected. Yet the story didn't end there. Listen, what looked like a delay became an opportunity for God to reveal something greater. So sometimes we only see the disappointment, but God sees the whole story. Now, I want to be very careful here. Healing from disappointment doesn't mean pretending you're fine. It doesn't mean smiling through pain. It doesn't mean acting like it didn't hurt. Healing begins when we are honest. I mentioned that in episode 2. Yeah, I mentioned that in episode 2. Honesty is the best way to healing. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with God. It's It's okay to tell God your heart. I do that a lot. It's okay to admit that you are confused. It's okay to say, Lord, I don't understand. God is not intimidated by your honesty. In fact, many of the Psalms are filled with people experiencing, expressing, their pain and confusion to God. Healing starts when we stop hiding our wounds. Another thing disappointment can do is make us afraid to hope again. After enough setbacks, come on. Some people stop expecting good things. They stop dreaming, they stop trying. Not because they don't care, but because they are afraid of getting hurt again. Maybe that's where you are right now. Maybe you've been disappointed so many times that protecting your heart feels safer than believing again. But don't let the disappointment become your identity. Something didn't work out. Quite alright. But that doesn't mean your entire future won't. One closed door doesn't mean every door is closed. No. One delay doesn't mean you're forgotten. And one disappointment doesn't mean God has abandoned you. I've come to the realization that sometimes God answers our prayers differently than we expect. Not because He doesn't care, but because He sees what we cannot see. There are moments when we understand later why certain things didn't happen, and there are moments when we may never fully understand, but trust isn't built on having all the answers. It's never. Trust is built on believing that God remains good even when life feels confusing. If you're healing from disappointment today, be patient with yourself. Healing takes time. Give yourself permission to feel, permission to rest, permission to start again when you are ready. And most importantly, don't isolate yourself. Talk to God. Talk to your Maker. Talk to trusted people, your mother, your father. It can be your pastor, your mentor. Trusted people. Keep moving forward, even if the steps are small. Because healing rarely happens all at once. It happens little by little, day by day, prayer by prayer. And so before I go, I want to leave you with this. Disappointment is not the end of your life. The door that closed is not the end of your opportunities. The prayer that seems unanswered is not proof that God isn't aware, or God does not exist, or God is not working. Keep trusting. Keep hoping. Keep believing, because God is still writing your story. Thank you so much for listening to Becoming Her with Christiana. This episode is truly for you if you're carrying disappointment in your heart. And if this episode encouraged you, please share with someone who may need it today. Thank you once again.